Dahil sa hirap ng buhay ngayong pandemya, mas mabuting mag-tech ka muna. Pero teka muna sandali, no? Bago kayo mag-click, mag-like at mag-share, dapat laging may extra care. Ako po si Mon Isberto, ang inyong Tech Lolo, at welcome na naman sa isa pang bagong episode ng ating programang Tech Ka Muna. Tayo po ay napapanood ngayon sa 1PH Signal TV Channel 1, and we can also be seen live and on demand sa Facebook page at saka sa YouTube channel ng 1PH Tech Ka Muna. Magandang gabi po muli at mayong gabi sa inyong tanan mga igsuon. Thank you for joining us this evening. Maganda po ang ating pag-uusapan. Well, ewan ko lang kung maganda, pero interesante. No? At makakatulong po sa atin ito na kung maintindihan natin itong paksa natin ngayong gabi. At ang paksa natin ay walang iba kundi deepfakes. Hindi ba? Kabisado na natin yung fake news. Yun yung mga chismis at saka mga paninira na nagkukunwaring tunay na balita na kumakalat sa social media at kung saan-saan pa. Ito naman, hindi fake news, kundi deepfakes. Iba siya, pero meron siyang kaugnayan. Yun ang pag-uusapan natin ngayong gabi. And we have two very interesting guests, no, who can help us discuss this topic from different angles. No? One is from a technological angle. No? Siya po ay eksperto dyan sa bagay na yan. At pangalawa naman isa from a news media public discourse or public discussion angle. We'll start with our first guest this evening. I'd like to bring him on stage na. Can I call? Hey, let's bring on Milo Pacamara. Siya po ay ang isa sa co-founder ng Cybersecurity Philippines. Good evening, Milo. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Good evening, Mon. Good evening, everyone.
Okay. Before we start the discussion, Milo, no? Para mas mapadali natin yung usapan, magpakita nga tayo ng sample. No? Can we show that? Let's roll it. O yan. Okay. Oops. Sandali ah. Okay, let's roll this video. Yan. Siguro naman kilala niyong lahat kung sino ito, hindi ba? That, of course, is Mr. Tom Cruise, right? Poging-pogi. Pero I'm sorry, hindi siya si Tom Cruise. Ibang tao siya. Yan. Ibang tao, pero kamukhang-kamukha ni Tom Cruise, akala mo, hindi mo malalaman, mahirap malaman na ibang tao siya. Kahit yung boses niya, parehong-pareho. Okay, Milo, let's this is just a quick sample. No? I'm sure there are many more samples that you can tell us about. Saan nagsimula ito? Itong deepfakes na to?
Mon, deepfake nagsimula siya to start is way back 97. Ginawa siya ng research group, namely called Video Right. So, yung purpose ng dati noon ng Video Right is more on like pagmamodify ng mga editing ng video para correction siya sa mga movies and TV shows. Yun yung pinakaunang concept sa kanya. Later on, it evolved to something else.
Oo nga, kasi nga, ito yung dito medyo nakakainis na storya na ang pangalan pala ng deepfakes ay username ng isang tao na ginamit yung technology na yan, na gumawa ng porn video. Di ba? Yeah. Kaya yung unang kumalat ng paggamit ng deepfakes ay porn video. Yung mukha daw ng mga movie stars, linalagay sa katawan ng mga gumagawa ng porn. Aray, ganun ba nangyari, Milo?
Yes, some of yung pinaka-earliest version niya is around 2017, 2018. Nauso siya on video dahil ang business nung dati is more of a blackmailing. Isa sa mga purpose ng deepfake or what you call it, sabi nga namin yan is, ang tawag namin dito is the digital content forgery is pornography and blackmailing.
Ay, ganun.
Yes.
So parang ano mangyayari dyan? Kukunin yung retrato mo, ilalapat sa mukha ng ibang tao. Tapos kung ano na nangyayari doon sa video niya, ganun ba yun?
Yes, to be exact. So, yung unang part ng blackmail is tinatarget niya sa mga artista since they have a lot of video na nakakuha ng mga artista dahil tapos ikukuha siya, i-integrate siya sa porn video. So,
Mhm.
aalisin yung ano yun, aalisin yung original face nung actual actress sa porn, then
Mhm.
ibibigay ay ilalagyan nung ano yan, normal actress, ilalagay siya sa ano yun, sa porn video.
Okay. Now, the reason, Milo, that I wanted to discuss this subject now, kasi meron akong nabasa na medyo nakakabahala na eh. Kasi mukhang naging mas advanced na yung technology mula nung 1997, 2000, 2017, 2018. Ngayon daw, ang dali-dali na raw gumawa ng deepfake. Totoo ba yun?
Yes. So currently ngayon, ang yung mga 2017, 2016 deepfakes, ginagamitan lang siya ng mga Adobe After Effects or any regular videos,
Mhm.
editing or splicing video.
Mhm.
So any regular user na may background sa ano yun, sa media editing, pwede siyang gumawa nito dahil ang usual yung pinakaunang evolution nito around 2016, 2017 is more of a lip syncing and face swapping, which
Okay.
is nakayang gawin sa regular video editing software.
Mhm.
So then it is evolving gradually na ngayon is learning machine or AI driven na siya.
Mhm.
Mm.
So
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 mas
anong
advanced ngayon.
ang nakita ko dun sa isang report dati-rati marami kang video na kailangan, no? Para gumawa ng
Mhm.
isang magandang deepfake. Pero ngayon, kahit isang retrato daw, pwede ka nang gumawa daw ng deepfake eh.
Oo.
Ah, pwede na yung ganun talaga, Milo.
Yes.
Oh, I think we have a sample of that, no? Just so that people can understand kung ano bang pinag-uusapan natin. Can we roll that video now? Hindi. Yung isa pa yung there's another video. Can we show that one? The next one, I think. Oh, ito.
Yeah, this one. Mm.
Sumusunod yung yung video doon sa kilos ng
So this one is more of a lip syncing approach.
oo. Pero kumbaga almost 'di ba Milo parang live na ginagawa 'di ba?
Yes, oo. So ina-alter niya, sinusundan niya yung diction nung yung ano yan, yung fake. Tapos ini-splice siya or ini-embed siya sa mukha nung ano yan, yung target mo na character.
O yun no, parang ganito. Kung kilos ng mukha kumikindat, nagsasalita, sumusunod yung image.
Yes, oo.
Okay. Medyo nakakabahala ito, Milon, 'di ba? Kasi in the US where this thing started, I understand nagamit ito doon sa election doon eh. Ano bang storya
Um,
doon?
so usually kasi at the time during the 2016 election, there was the part of the fake news, right?
Mm.
On the other side of the fake news, yung hindi gaano nakikita ng tao is there was media, I mean, there's some, what you call that? Ang tawag namin doon is more of a cheap fake. Yung
Aha.
pinakaunang part nung deep fake, okay?
Mm.
Yung crude version niya. So,
Aha.
yun ginagawa ng mga trolls, yung mga naggagawa ng fake news, ini-spread niya. So, yung example, may interview, ini-splice nila yung narrative ng interview. Or minsan
Mm.
ginagawa siyang yung if you sermon, yung mga meme,
Ah.
ano yun, simple lang yung mga meme but proper presentation of a meme na medyo in-splice mo yung video tapos binigyan mo ng ibang narrative, nagiging iba ang implication ng storyline niya. So it started there pero yun nga lang hindi siya nagkaroon ng maraming impact because the authority in the US was pulling it out by the minute kasabay siya ng fake news. Mm.
Okay. So ibig sabihin, yung mga authorities doon sa US, kumbaga talagang binantayan yung
Yes.
paggamit ng mga okay. Pero sinubukan talagang gamitin. di ba?
Sinubukan siyang gamitin. There are some kung if some people would have recalled during the time yung banggaan ni Trump saka ni Clinton. Alright?
Hillary
So,
Clinton.
Hillary Clinton, may mga videos na lumalabas na pinaghahalo yung pinagpapasayaw sila, okay? Tapos nagdo-duet yung dalawa,
Okay.
ini-splice yung video, yung mga ganon. Then there are iteration noon na mas radikal. So example, si Hillary Clinton pinapasilita ng something else or pinapaamin or mga implications na laban sa kanya. Then si
Mhm.
Trump naman, more of a positive side si Trump. So yung
Mm.
mga hindi sinabi-sabi ni Trump na platform niya, pinapalabas na gagawin niya or isinasama sa platform niya for campaign.
Okay, sige. Milo, kung ganyan, meron na itong mga nangyayaring ganyan, no? How can people tell? Pwede ba visually, no? Na ikaw nanonood ka tapos nakita mo itong video ito. Is there a way for you to detect fake ba to? Tunay ba ito? Ano yung palatandaan na pwede nating gamitin? Kasi ito, kung titignan mo ito, yan, this guy can say something,
Mhm.
mukha ni Trump ang lalabas o mukha ni Putin ang lalabas, silang nagsasalita.
Yes.
But
So
can you tell? How can you tell?
So, primarily eto, yung mga mababang klase ng deepfake, we call it
Mm.
cheap fake. You
Mm.
look at the facial tics of the video, yung mga yung mukha ng tao. So example, yung mga pag-blink niya. So usually
Mhm.
ang tao nagbi-blink 20 to 40 every minute, right? Pag mahinang klase yung paggagawa ng paggagawa ng deepfake or purely AI siya na hindi consider yung facial tics ng tao.
Mhm.
So wala siyang minimal o kulang-kulang yung pag-blink ng tao. Okay?
Okay,
So
okay.
yun yung unang facial tics. Tapos may mga part na if you look at most of the video, so usually kino-compare namin siya sa example, may supposed report na deepfake sa amin or example fake news. So what we do is we collaborate pictures of previous days to 2 weeks kung ano yung pagkakaiba ng mukha or anything smudges among other things.
Mhm.
So yun yung and then the more advanced form which is usually used by law enforcement group in some part of the world is
Mhm.
dinadala yung mismong video na yon tapos nagkakandak sila ng video forensic. Meron silang, sabi nga namin yan, may rate point system na kung konti siya, maa-analyze ka agad kung deepfake siya or totoo.
So Milo, merong mga technical solutions na pwedeng gamitin. In other words, kumbaga may algorithm ka o may program ka, pwedeng gamitin yung program na yan to scan. Halimbawa, sa mga social media, madidetect ba nitong ganyang klaseng technology yung mga deepfake?
Yes, there are some social media group now na nag-i-implement na nagde-detect sila ng AI-driven video or media.
Mhm.
So, merong flaws pa yon, okay? So, hindi guarantee yun na hindi lahat ng, example, sa Facebook or Twitter, I've heard that
Okay.
there are some, what you call it, enforcement na gagawin nila. Now,
Mm.
this is good for those social media platform, pero yung regular na pinablish sa website, tapos ikukuhan siya, i-attach lang as a link to an email or to, what you call it, to some groups na pag-uusapan, that cannot be detected. Dahil kailangan siyang i-analyze mismo nung yung media screening team ng social media platform.
I see. Kasi kung ang i-share mo ay link lang,
Mm.
hindi makikita yung mismong video doon, di ba?
Video, yes. Pag in-upload mo, yun nakikita sila.
Okay, okay.
Mm.
So meron pa rin
Meron loopholes, yes.
paraan.
Mm.
Yun ang problema, no? Kasi ang nabasa ko naman, Milo, kasi ang minsan parang ano yan eh, gera o competition, yung mga platform na ginagamit para i-detect yung yung deepfake. Yung gumagawa naman ng deepfake, pag nakita yun ang ginagawa ng platform para i-detect sila, binabago naman nila yung deepfake.
Yes.
Ganun ba ang nangyayari? So, parang naghahabulan tayong ganyan, di ba?
Ever since, sir, ganun ang zero-sum game ang security. So,
Mm.
example, na-detect siya ngayon,
Mm.
kaya nga usually yung law enforcement 'pag tinanong mo, "Meron ba kayong technology?" Sasabi lang siya, "Meron." Pakita nga, sasabi sila, "I don't think so." Dahil 'pag nakuha nila yung same technology na yun, made-detect na nila.
Okay, okay.
Mm.
Oo nga naman 'no, kung ikaw bakit mo ipapakita yung ginagawa mo?
Yes,
So,
exactly.
thank you na lang ang sasabihin sa'yo.
Mm. Nice trying, sabi nga niyan.
Well, I understand that you mentioned Facebook and Twitter na. Back in January 2020, sinabi na nila that they are going to parang install a platform or some kind of algorithm para i-detect yung deepfakes dun sa kanilang sistema, no? How successful is that? Anong tingin mo 'yun?
Well, lumulusot pa rin yung iba. Lalo 'pag
Mhm.
low resolution, lumulusot pa rin siya. Dahil kasi
Meron
ito,
ng
ayan, eto,
sige.
yung concept of deepfake is this: kukunin yung facial pictures mo, total niyan is 38 dataset frontal view tapos 21 dataset, parang fingerprint mo. So,
Hmm, hmm,
yung same concept na yun ang ginagamit pang-detect ng, what you call that, deepfake, right? Now,
okey.
kung yung resolution mo ibaba mo, hindi siya made-detect dahil hinahanap niya yung 38 dataset ng frontal view, tapos yung side view mo ng 21 dataset. 'Pag hindi siya nag-match, crude pa siya, to be exact. Hindi mo naman puwedeng i-take down lahat ng video dahil false positive yun, ika nga.
Okay. So, well, technology can help, but it's not foolproof.
It's not foolproof, yeah.
So, 'yun ang problema ngayon, no? What does the law say about this, Mil? Is this covered now by by one or another existing law natin o kailangan pa bang gumawa ng bagong batas para dito?
If I recall it right, Senator Recto way back around 2019 passed a resolution. I'm not sure kung na-approve siya. Pero as of
Hmm,
the current, yung standing nakikita ko lang na sabihin natin na more of a notary with deepfake sa Pilipinas was produced by a bulletin by ACG. Pero hindi pa siya literally criminalized in a sense.
oh,
Mm. Yes, compared to the US law, dahil yung US law,
hmm,
well, where it all started, yung deepfake, there was a report of 2019. Then by 2020, ginawan siya ng, what you call that, alteration sa US National Defense Authorization Act, which is
mhm.
about digital content forgery dahil tinitignan siya as a national level or a threat to national security. Mm.
Ay, yeah, yeah. Oh. So, ibig sabihin sa US meron ng batas,
Meron
pero
na.
sa Pilipinas, yung batas natin ay hindi pa gano'n kaangkop to keep up with this deepfake issue?
There is a strategy to go about it. Example, Sermon, you
Hmm,
are a known personality, right?
hmm,
So you will have, we call you an intellectual property by yourself and by your face, right? So yung mga artista
okey.
sakop doon. So you
Mhm,
can, example, minaline kita, siniraan kita. So it is affecting your brand. I usually do this in brand security. So yung personality mismo is the brand. So we call it brand infringement. Pwede mong
okey.
kasuhan on brand infringement but not on forgery dahil ibang usapan pa yon. Mm.
Oh, okay. So kumbaga, Mila, from the way you're discussing it, parang ginagawan lang natin ang paraan using existing laws, di ba?
Yeah.
Wala pa talaga tayong isang batas na tumutukoy talaga dito sa deepfake issue.
Yes. As far as I know, correct. You can correct me there. But 2019, Senator Recto pushed for something. I'm not sure if it pushed through.
Wala pa, I was looking at the files pero wala pang atang
Mm.
action that has been taken on that. So, aren't, aside from, of course, ang una-una na isip ko dito, politika, hindi ba? Pero hindi
Yes.
ba problema din ito para sa mga negosyo?
Yes, exactly. So
Oh.
put it this way. Ang application nito is blackmail, pornography,
Mm.
so politics to be exact, and we've seen
Mm.
it across the world from what you call that, Gabon to South Korea to North Korea. Then
Mhm.
may artistic value naman to, which is the very purpose of this one from the very start since 1997. may
Oh,
movies, and then in political side, merong good side siya. Dahil example, sa politics is most politician doesn't speak more than 3 to 4 dialects, right? So,
oh,
if you implement it in that way, so example, etong nakikita natin ngayon kay Tom Cruise, sabihin natin magpopolitika siya sa Pilipinas, but he only knows Tagalog, right? So,
okay.
you can implement the deepfake with this video, tapos pagsalitain mo siya ng I think more than 16 dialect or more in the Philippines.
Oh,
So, he can actually connect in a what do you call it, community level based campaign. So, but if you
hmm,
reverse it in the same way, you can also use to malign the person or the individual on the very community base. So, example, nakita namin to sa South Africa. Yung campaign nito is sa capital, hindi siya naglabas ng deepfake. Pero yung sa provincial niya, naglabas siya ng deepfake. So, ang
okay.
ginawa niya is sinisiraan yung politician na yon on the provinces but not on the capital or the adjacent. Sabihin natin sa NCR saka hanggang Calabarzon, hindi lalabas yung deepfake. Yung lalabas lang siya as far as Bicol, Visayas, and everything. So, they can actually, sabihin nga natin, you can put in a seed of distrust or shall we say, distrust or among other things sa tao na yon for political
Mm.
purposes. Yes. Mm.
Okay. So pwede talagang kumbaga surgical ang distribution, no?
Yes. Mhm.
Dito dito sa isang lugar mo lang gagawin for a very
Mm.
specific target or very specific purpose. Do you have experience, with companies also being affected by this? Have deepfakes also been used against mga kumpanya sa mga negosyo?
Yes. Usually, ang labanan sa company is more of what you call that. Di ba ang brand nagsisiraan, right?
Mm.
So, sa line of work ko, we cover what you call that. We call it brand security. So,
Mm.
ang ginagawa namin is hinahanap namin of every known news or media that would actually sow distrust on the brand itself. Kahit example about sea level na merong ganito, tapos may ginawa siyang mali, and then what you call that, yung mali na yon, kahit maliit siya, pinampalaki nung kabilang kumpanya, and then they spread it outside para 'di ba pag may mga stock yung company, any bad news about the company would lower down the stocks, right?
Mm, mm, mm.
So,
May
in that
ganong
same
effect.
purpose,
Oh.
yeah. So, sabi nga niya, either the attacker do it by blackmailing or the attacker actually was hired by the competitor to remove you from the competition. So, example, maglalabas sila ng, say, ano yun, advertisement, right? So, yung
Mm.
advertisement papalabas nila, eto niya, kinopya mo, eto yung original plan nila or among other things. Tapos, same as with an actor or actresses. Kaya lumabas yung ano yon, yung mga mga splice video ng mga actresses sa US is
Mm.
nagsisiraan sila.
Ay, nako. O sige,
Mm.
sige, Milo. Thank you very much for your
Thank
discussion
you.
and explanation,
Mhm.
no? Pero stand by, Milo, no? We'll bring you back later on kasi meron pa tayong question and answer portion. We'll tackle questions from our viewers and I'm sure we're going to get questions. So,
Yes, sir.
maraming salamat, Milo. Stand by lang. In the
With
meantime,
it,
mga
sir.
kaibigan, we'll take a break. Huwag po kayong umalis. Welcome back mga kaibigan. Ituloy natin ang discussion natin tungkol sa deepfakes at ang kasama natin naman ngayon ay isang kapatid nating news anchors na si Mr. Ed Lingao. Good evening, Ed. Welcome to the program.
Hi, Sir Mon. Ako naman ang inyong low-tech tito.
Sige. May kanya-kanyang papel sa buhay,
Okay.
di ba?
Sir Mon,
ito.
may pabula ako kasi kanina I was listening to you guys you were asking about kung nakahabol na tayo in terms of laws doon sa
Yes.
deepfake.
Oh, good. Yes.
Medyo mabagal tayo doon kasi well, for example, ang ating DICT secretary si former Senator Onasan, he's in charge of communications technology, di ba? Until November 2018 napapabalita na 3210 pa rin yung telepono niya, analog. And he had to catch up with the rest of the with the rest of the young people like us.
Sige, dapat bigyan natin siya ng isang smartphone, okay? 5G na para mas maganda.
I think meron na ata ngayon. Pero as late as 2018, 3210 ang gamit niya.
Well, bukod doon, mukhang walang nangyari doon sa resolution ata ni Senator Recto noong 2019. I was trying to look at the files at nag-google ako, wala akong makitang balita na nag-follow through. But sandali, bago tayo pumasok doon sa mga detalyeng yun, kasi kaya namin inimbita kayo, Ed, kasi maganda yung paliwanag ni Milo tungkol sa technical side nito, no?
Mm.
Pero hindi ito lang technical na issue, malaking bagay dito
certainly.
Yung politika, yung social, di ba? So anong tingin mo, Ed, paano na to? Kasi may fake news na, no? Tapos papasok pa itong deepfakes. Hindi ka ba nababahala?
Well, syempre nakakabahala yung ganong bagong technology, pero it's not as worrisome as yung nagbabagong social behaviors and social habits. Kasi diba, technology drives social behavior, but at the same time, social behavior also drives technology. They feed on each other, di ba? So like I'll do a quick rewind. For example, nung panahon natin, di ba? You would like to think that people were more mas masigasig sa paghahalukap ng detalye at ano yung totoo at ano hindi. Ngayon, kung kailan ka napakaraming impormasyon at your fingertips, pero parang nawala yung habit of checking and counter-checking. Which is ironic, diba? Which is very ironic. So technology, yes, certainly is important, but I suppose at this particular point, social habits and behaviors are more important, and we're seeing a slide towards an alarming trend in social behavior and habits.
Pero meron ko isang point dun sa technical side muna kasi hindi ba mas nakaka-convince sa tao ang video? Ikaw, nasa TV ka, compared to meron kang mababasang artikulo, no? Kung makita mo, nagsasalita yung isang tao, ito yung sinasabi niya, di ba mas madaling mapaniwala ang tao ng video?
In fact, meron kaming kasabihan dati, nung nasa PCIJ pa ako, radio is the medium of greatest reach, TV is the medium of greatest impact.
Okay.
Print is the medium of reference. Pero yung medium of greatest impact is still television.
Because it's visual.
Because it captures two of your senses. The visual and the oral. Oral. Unlike radio, oral lang. Diba?
So,
two of your six senses are captured already.
O tsaka pag meron kang nakita na pangyayari, di ba? Uy,
sasabi mo, nakita ko ang sarili kong mata.
Oo. Parang
kahit malabo, di ba? Nag-usapan niyo kanina, minsan the trick is to lower the resolution para medyo believable pa rin, pero hindi mo ma-check. Pero siguro nga kasi gusto mong maniwala. And that's part of yung habits nga.
Hindi, tsaka, di ba, you've been covering the political scene for many years na, Ed. No? Nangyari na sa atin dito, hindi ba? Meron na tayong mga case studies dito
Well, ang dami. I think you have a video in there of, for example, in 2017, may nag-splice ng isang lumang speech si Senator Laila de Lima in the Senate, where
Okay.
it appeared that she was admitting and acknowledging that she was in charge of the drug trafficking in Bikutan, in the correctional.
Oh, I think we have that
Yeah.
video there, no? Why don't we show this? Pakita nga natin yun.
Ng droga sa bansang ito. But the truth is, I was protector of the Bilibid drug lords. I myself started drugs at the National Bilibid Prison. I myself continued operations of the National Bilibid Prison of drugs. Together with this is a confirmation that there is Shabu laboratory inside the National Penitentiary.
Oh.
Diba? It was terribly, in fact, it was terribly edited. You could see it was badly edited.
Oh, medyo yung pag
Tumatalon.
ganun. Tumatalon.
What
Tapos
we would call a
bumabalik.
jump cut. It was clearly badly edited, pero it was widely believed. It went viral. Which makes you wonder, bakit naniniwala mga tao? Because, I suppose, in a way, a lot of people wanted to believe it. And that brings us back nga dun sa how people are behaving now.
Well, meron ako nabasa, paminsan-minsan nagbabasa tayo ng libro, no?
Pumaniwala ako sa paminsan-minsan na ikaw pa.
De, pero may sinasabi talaga ang mga psychologists na yung isang expression is default to truth. Meaning, kung merong nagsasabi sa iyo na isang kilala mo, ang tendency mo talaga ay naniniwala ka dun sa sinasabi ng taong yon. Kasi kumbaga yun ang ating yun ang takbo ng ating utak eh. So kung binigyan kita ng isang video na galing sa akin, kay magkakaibigan tayo, nakita mo, uy, mas may tendency kang maniwala. Yun ata ang isang malaking problema eh, di ba?
Pero man, let me bring in another study. In 2017, nag-conduct ng study yung Stanford. This was done by Hunt Alcott and Matthew Gensko with regard to yung 2016 US elections. Okay. Ang dami niya mga gandang findings, ang dami mga gandang points. Pero let me zoom in dun sa pertinent aspects. The study found that people or consumers have discovered that they actually enjoy having partisan news. Oo. Hindi na ganun kauso yung you're really honestly, sincerely looking for objective news.
Okay.
A lot of people are actually wanting to find news that will reinforce what they believe. Reinforcement.
Okay.
And that's the thing. Sabi ng study, there is now a ready market of reinforcement, especially on social media, because you have basically a whole lot of echo chambers in social media, and that's how people are getting used to echo chambers and reinforcement.
I think another technical term for that, Ed, is confirmation bias.
There you go.
Diba?
Confirmation bias. Yeah.
Na kung makita mo yung isang bagay na umaayon dun sa paniniwala mo, whether totoo yan o hindi, maniniwala ka.
Oo. Or kahit kaunti lang yung possibility na totoo yun, pero that supports my therefore kahit medyo yung video yun tumatalon-talon, very badly edited, but it confirmed the biases of a lot of people that she is a drug lord. Therefore it must be true.
Okay. Paano yun? So sandali, I'm gonna ask you to put your media hat on now, Ed, no? Anong papel ng traditional media sa ganitong senaryo na ito? No, kasi much of this is happening in social media. What can media organizations do in a situation like this?
Well, ideally, ang advantage ng mainstream media is the vetting process. You do have an established process of vetting by editors. Diba? Ideally, it goes through a certain process of checking, counter-checking, and cross-checking, especially if it's particularly sensitive, which does not organically exist in social media, because in social media, everybody's everybody's basically a publisher or broadcaster.
Oh.
So that would help eh. Pero at the same time din kasi, because of the way people are behaving now and how social habits have developed, if the mainstream media refuses to publish a video like this, for example, kay Laila de Lima, di ba? Kasi obviously sablay siya, mali siya, badly edited siya. So nobody ran with it on mainstream media. But it ran like crazy on social media. And people were asking on social media na, bakit hindi to ini-air ng MSM? Mga bias kasi kayo. Diba?
Well,
so may shortcut na, may short circuit na. There's that other well, the new technology has allowed for a bypass of what was the traditional gatekeeper, the mainstream media. And that affects us.
Well, okay, no, there are two sides to that point, Ed, no, kasi traditional media has also been accused of being biased, di ba?
Yeah, yeah, certainly.
So, no, alam natin dalawang yan, dumaan tayo sa ganyang klaseng proseso, no? Pero at least ako, in fairness naman, you may be biased, but you're accountable.
You're accountable to a process as well, di ba?
Oh, hindi. Tsaka ako, halimbawa, reporter ka, may byline ka, nandun yung pangalan mo. O kung ikaw ay TV reporter, yung mukha mo, nandun, nakataya. Pero kung social media, hindi mo alam kung saan galing at sinong gumawa.
Because it's so easy to create a new account.
So,
Diba?
ano bang...
It goes on and on.
Okay, I mean, social media has become, correct me if I'm wrong, Ed, no? Yun atang number one source of news ngayon ng mga tao, lalo na ang kabataan. Tama ba yun?
Let me refer you to a study also in 2017, also the same Stanford study. Teka, may dalawang magandang study dito. Sorry, medyo nagka-technical ako, pero I looked this up kasi before for a talk. In 2016, also a Stanford study, pero different study naman, found that most U.S. students, US-based most U.S. students do not know or cannot tell the difference between an advertisement and a real news story. 82%.
82%?
8 out of 10. These
Okay.
are students from middle school to college could not tell the difference between an ad or a labeled sponsored content versus a real news story. Diba?
But this is this is in video, not let's say hindi sa dyaryo to.
Pati sa dyaryo. This is media in general. Pero Mon, I'm sure you've also seen sa mga dyaryo, may 2019 and 2016 in local newspapers, I've seen advertorials being published in our local newspapers.
Oh,
These
These are
are
standard
ads,
na yan.
These are ads made to look like news stories.
Kumbaga, that's
ads talaga siya. Kung hindi ka taga-dyaryo, hindi mo papansin. Pero these are actually advertisements made to look like news stories.
Okay, but let's focus on social media for a while kasi in January 2020 sinabi ng Facebook na talagang tatanggalin nila itong mga deepfake video sa kanilang platform. May kumpiyansa ka ba? Are you reassured by that kind of move? Ikaw?
Well, not really kasi I don't think they have enough people to do the policing. And for them to do proper policing, you have to have people complaining. And then it becomes a numbers game. And if people want to believe what they see, parang election yan eh. Di ba? O kaya pag nireklamo yung page mo, if you get so many people complaining about you, then you get suspended. That happened to me. That happened to me on Facebook.
Okay.
So minsan it becomes a numbers game. Minsan kung mas maraming magreklamo sa iyo o mas maraming mag-like sa iyo, mas kapani-paniwala ka. And in part that's one way that their formula works.
Okay. Pero let's go back to traditional media. Television, radio, print. Sige. Hindi ba pagkakataon ito for you guys in the media organizations na to say na, okay, maraming mga kumakalat dyan ng mga fake news at deepfakes, kung gusto nyo malaman kung anong totoo, pumunta kayo sa amin. Hindi nyo pa pwedeng ibenta yung ganong klaseng storya?
I wish. I don't want to sound cynical. I don't really want to sound cynical. Pero you've seen a steady migration to social media. Again, going back to Stanford study, 6 out of 10 U.S. adults in 2017 said that they were getting their news from social media, not from mainstream media sources. So number one, that means cut in revenues for mainstream media. Number two, that means that they get to see lang what their friends share or what they like, because it's social networking, diba?
Yeah.
What you see on your timeline is basically what you follow, what you like, and that's how the formula works. So that's number one. 6 out of 10 we're getting the news from social media. Also, meron pang parang so 6 out of 10 get their news from social media. Also, most people get their news incidentally na lang, not because they were looking for it, but because it comes up on their social media page. So parang nawawala rin ng habit that people go to newspapers or news sites. They rely on their social media to tell them na, uy, may ganitong storya. Uy, may ganitong storya.
So
Hindi
meron
kagaya ng panahon natin. Hindi kagaya ng panahon natin, sa umaga, magbabasa ka ng dyaryo. Ngayon, you'll only learn about the story when it comes out on your timeline. So it becomes passive.
Okay. Pero kung ganyan ang pinag-uusapan, it's really about what yung tinatawag nilang media literacy, no?
Yes.
Hindi ba dapat ituro ito sa eskwelahan?
I understand that DepEd tried to put up a curriculum on media literacy as early as a year ago. I'm not sure how it is going. But for those who are interested, kasi for example, I think it was UNICEF or UNESCO. Teka, let me see. I think it was UNICEF, for example, that has published pa nga for free a downloadable curriculum on media literacy. So it's actually available if you want it.
Well, I did some research, no? Ang number one pala sa buong mundo sa bagay na ito is the country Finland. In 2014, they started teaching media literacy from kindergarten all the way hanggang college. Tinuturuan yung mga bata kung paano makaspot ng fake news. Hindi ba natin pwedeng gawin yung ganyan?
Sermon, I would like to think that that would be easy for us in the Philippines, pero unfortunately, even the media in the Philippines needs media literacy.
Bakit naman? Bakit mo sinasabi yun?
Well, I've just noticed that kasi I sometimes, unfortunately, I tend to compare yung mga matatandang reporter kagaya mo at yung mga mas bata. Siyempre, not naman all, no? I don't want to generalize, pero mas kaunti ang nagbabasa ng dyaryo. Hindi lang yung physical na dyaryo, pero yung pupunta talaga sa websites. Na, yung organic websites ng, for example, inquire.net or philstar.com. Kokonti lang ang gumagawa noon. Mas marami sa kanila, they will rely on also their Facebook feeds, social media feeds, to tell them what stories are developing. In one way, it's good, but in a larger context, it's bad because you only see the micro stories. You don't see the big picture. You only see what comes up. It's very passive. It's passive news digestion. Unlike dati, sa umaga, kailangan mong basahin lahat. Unfortunately, we have also lost that as well.
So kahit
it starts there. Because I do remember in the olden days, uupo ka talaga sa umaga, babasahin mo lahat ng dyaryo. For you to get a bigger, broader perspective. Tsaka, di ba, iba yung basahin mo yung dyaryo, makikita mo yung pinakamalaki storya hanggang sa pinakamaliit. Versus, you wait for it in your newsfeed, unti-unting dumarating, bit by bit. So you don't see. I think that's also why people complain na kayo mga media wala na kayong ginawa kundi bumatikos, because they only see stories one at a time. They don't see all the stories. Kasi the truth is, what 60-70% of news stories are sourced from the government. You're actually repeating
okay.
what government's saying. But people don't see that.
That's ironic talaga, Ed, no, yung sinasabi mo. Kasi, halimbawa ngayon, noon, na nagde-reporter pa ako,
Di ba?
kailangan ka pang pumunta sa library para mag-back check, mag-fact check ka, no, magba-background check, no?
Index cards, di ba?
Oh, galing sa sa coverage, babalik ka sa opisina kasi nandun yung library tapos titignan mo yung mga files. Ngayon, kahit saan ka, pwede ka mag-Google. At yun ang ginagawa ko. Yun ang ginagawa ko ngayon.
Diba? Which is good thing. If you use it well. Yes.
I mean, the technology now makes that possible. Pero ang sinasabi mo, hindi nagagamit yung technology.
Hindi nagagamit kasi because it's there and it's easy to get to. Plus, you have a deluge of information. And people apparently don't know or can't tell the difference anymore what is good and bad. Kasi now, wala nang masyadong concept ng gatekeepers eh. Now, all the information is there and you have to decide on by yourself which is good and which is bad. I'll give you a quick example lang kasi baka mabusan tayong oras eh. For example, mga 2 years ago, nauso yung mga fake news websites. Fake news websites. For example, The Guardian. The Guardian, of course, it's a British newspaper, di ba? The Guardian. Pero yung Guardian, pero yung I niya, number 1.
Sige.
Tapos peke yung yung mga storya, most of them pro government and anti-opposition, pero talagang fake stories, but people believe them and people would post them on social media because they thought na it's a credible website. Okay. Ganun. Meron ding CNN. I would see CNN before, pero yung CNN hindi yung usual logo ng CNN na black letters. Ito CNN in Gothic lettering.
Okay.
Pero people would believe it.
Kasi mukha siyang website.
And written like regular news. Also the Times, pero yung I niya is number 1.
Okay.
Parang The Times of London. Kumalat yung mga yan at kung ano ng mga peking story ang lumabas sa mga yan.
So ang lumalabas dito, Ed, no? I mean, we have to cap your discussion right now because we have to take a break. Pero parang hindi technology lang ang issue dito eh.
Hindi lang. It's how we use technology.
At saka yung sinasabi mo, yung social and political biases ng tao, lumalabas dahil dito sa sitwasyon na to. Okay.
They feed each other eh.
We'll take a break, ha? Pero babalik tayo. We'll take questions from our viewers, no? So, mga kaibigan, don't go away. Welcome back mga kaibigan. We're back here at Tech Kamuna and now we'd like also to bring back our 2 guests this evening, si Milo Pacamara at saka si Ed Lingao. Please come back on. There you are, Milo. Yes. Oh, okay. Thank you very much, Ed and Milo. Now we're taking questions from our viewers, no? Marami na rito. Okay, sandali. From Mara Javier. Sa 2022 elections, gaano po kaya kalaki ang tsansa na magamit ang deepfakes laban kay VP Lenny o kung kahit sino mga opposition candidates? Or kung sino man mga candidates, what are the chances? What are the chances of deepfakes coming out in this coming elections? Anong tingin nyo? Milo, Ed, sige, kayo. Milo, ikaw muna.
Okay. In neutral stance, if kung committed yung tao, or example yung supporter or mga other things, pwedeng hindi galing to mismo sa loob ng party pero yung supporter lang ang gagawa nito. There's a possibility. All right. So kung 2016, I'm sorry. I'm not what's the last election in the Philippines? I'm sorry.
2016.
2019.
2016. Okay. So 2016 hindi pa siya na-introduce, right? So if they are seeing now the fake news, I'm sorry, the deep fake, it was implemented in multiple countries and dumadami siya ngayon, they can use it now offensively. Okay? So because it's being propagated across the world already, there's a lot of incident already doing this. So I would give it a probability of 80 to 70% that somebody will use this.
So, ibig sabihin, more likely than not, Milo, na sa tingin nyo mangyayari to. Ikaw, Ed, what's your own thinking?
I agree with Milo. It doesn't need a big party machinery or a lot of funding for anybody to do this. Kasi alam mo, i-Google mo lang simpleng Google lang face swap applications. Ang daming lalabas eh. In fact, one of the more popular apps yung for example Snapchat, although wala akong gano'n kasi low-tech yung ano ko. Meron siyang cameo application kung saan you can put your face on somebody else's body. Di ba?
Okay.
You can you can look for all these apps and they're available to ordinary people. Although badly done, pero like you saw with Dilima, it doesn't have to be you don't have to be a professional to do it.
Okay. Well, nabanggit mo yung previous video na yun, no? Here's a question from Rona Santos, no? Nakagamit na po ng deepfakes dati sa internet, pero sa akin, madali naman pong ma-identify na peke yon. Marami po bang talagang naloloko dito? Kahit halata? Oh, Ed, this one starts with you.
Well, I think yes, because nga it reinforces a lot of biases in a country that is already so polarized, where you have a lot of people from both sides, looking for a reason to believe what they want to believe, and that's what we are. That's where we are right now. It's a very polarized situation, and it's reinforcement. Cognitive biases.
Mm-hmm. Milo, your thoughts?
Yeah, put it this way. Kung ang tawag namin dyan sa sa security side is if you conduct a proper target audience analysis, kung pag-aaralan mo lang yung delivery niya, pwede mong pagsabay-sabayin yung fake news, deep fake, saka kung ano pang attack para siraan or i-enhance yung probability mo na manalo with any contest or say political approach. So literally there's no limit to it.
Okay.
Also,
here's
can I add rin there?
Sure.
Ito rin kasi in reinforcing our biases nga mas madali na maniwala ang tao doon sa allegation kaysa sa yung denial.
Okay.
Kasi mas compelling yung allegation kaysa sa yung denial. Kahit mapatunayan mong mali o peke, ilang maniniwala.
Hindi, tsaka meron din, di ba, may element din na kung anong story ang unang lumabas,
yun na yun.
Yun ang mas malakas ang impact, di ba?
Oo.
Mahirap yung humahabol ka, yun ang...
and if I may add, di ba highly polarized kayo ng Pilipinas, right? So that's all you need to have, chaos. If you have chaos, you need to feed the proper information. Sabihin natin, you publish 100 videos or 100 fake news, at least 20 doon lulusot. So people will believe what they want to believe. Then they will campaign for it to other people.
Yan ang mahirap talaga, no? Okay, here's another question from Marietta San Miguel. Yung face app po ba kung pwedeng mag-swap ng mukha ay considered na deepfake?
Face app is, yes.
No, kasama na siya, no? Doon sa mga tools ng gumawa ng mga deepfakes, no? Okay. Sandali, Okay. I'm not sure if I understand this question. Sandali. Ito, from Albert Cabiao. Yung mga apps po na nagpo-promote ng mga VR, tulad ng Messenger, Instagram at Snapchat, di ba posibleng gumawa sila ng deepfake na VR din? At gaano po kadelikado yung ganun?
Si Milo.
I'm a bit
Milo?
confused with it. I'm a bit confused with the question. So,
Oo nga.
yung usually kasi yung deepfake, may mga apps niya, you can find it over the web there for free. Okay? Not unless may swapping capability or lip syncing capability or video splicing capability. Yun
Yeah.
yung considered na application for deepfake or for cheap fake.
Okay. Sige. Ako, I just want to follow up sa inyong dalawa. This is some questions naman from me, no? Ano bang, di ba dapat talaga ilagay natin sa educational system natin ito? Ako, naiinggit ako sa Finland, eh. Nasa kindergarten pa lang, tinuturuan na yung mga bata paano makita, ma-spot. Oh, fake news ito. Ito, deep fake ito. Nakakainggit eh. No, kasi kumbaga lumalaki yung mga bata hanggang college yan, ha. Tinuturuan sila kung may bagong gimmick katulad ng deepfake, tinuturuan yung mga estudyante. Hindi ba natin pwedeng gawin dito sa Pilipinas?
Well, theoretically, we are already kasi they put it in the curriculum already mga 2 years ago. Pero that's medium to long term eh. By the time that takes root, that will be several years down the line.
That's true.
What we also do need to address now is yung propensity ng the older generation to believe and to spread fake news and deep fakes. Kasi
di ako kasama doon, ha? Sandali.
sa totoo lang, marami sa mga nagkakalat ng mga fake news at kung ano-ano mga ewan, yung mga may edad dahil hindi sila masyadong tech savvy. Yung mga bata mas masinop.
I heard about that. Bakit ganon? Mas madali daw, ang mas nagpapasa-pasa na itong mga fake news at saka mga deepfake.
Ako napapansin ko rin yun eh. Parang
it's the older generation. Ikaw, ano observation mo, Milo? Do you see the same thing happening?
Usually it comes from the older generation. So yung primary spreader, yung older generation. Yung secondary spreader, yung mga anak nila, pamangkin, pinsan or whatnot. So it propagates along the way because there's a culture in the Philippines yung maniniwala ka sa matanda, correct? So that applies with it. I even end up with an argument with a kid before na eto sinabi ng tiyuhin ko. Okay, you need to read it somewhere else from the book. Do not get it from what you call it, lip service from other people.
Okay.
Iba yung irony, grabe yung irony.
Well, medyo nababalik-baliktad ako dito sa mga kwentuhan natin ngayon. Kasi hindi ba usually ang sinasabi natin yung mga matatanda dahil mas wise, mas nakikita nila yung mga totoo at hindi totoo dahil sa kanilang karanasan. Hindi pala totoo yun. Ganun ang
rin. I'm taking a guess lang here, but again, this is just my 2 cents. So it's just a guess. It's not from any study or whatever. It's possible lang. It's possible lang. Like a qualified, it's just a guess. It's possible din kasi that the older generation was used to having gatekeepers. May tagasala. Nung unang panahon, may sumasala. For example, dyaryo, newscast. So the presumption then during that generation was kung ano lumabas yan, totoo dapat yan. Nasala na yan. Ngayon lumalabas sa kung saan lahat na kung ano-ano.
At wala nang sala-sala.
So baka mas nalilito yung mga nasanay sa may sumasala. Baka lang like I qualified kanina, that's just my guess.
Sir Ed, Sir Mon, may I add, do you have, the media here in the Philippines is an organization, right? I'm not sure in particular. Why not create a regulatory or a fact-checking group among all media outlets?
When may mga nagka-fact check naman po, yun lang kasi they mostly fact check government statements eh. Most of it government statements eh. Kasi doon pa lang marami ng trabaho yun.
If you guys consolidate
it, sa social media.
Yeah, if you guys consolidate, because this is what I'm observing, okay? So during the past few years, during the election from different countries, most of the attacker na nag-spew ng fake news or deep fake is not actually local. It's from
Oh,
somewhere else. So
galing sa iba.
if you guys actually consolidate it and you guys talk to each other and create a filter, you can actually solve this issue.
Okay. Naku, sandali. Binubusina na ako. Milo at saka Ed, we're really out of time. Maraming salamat. Hindi, tsaka medyo mainit yung usapan kaya tuloy-tuloy yung pero thank you very much Milo and Ed. I think we have to come back to this issue sometime later no kasi mukhang palapit ang eleksyon kaya oops.
Oo, talaga.
Kaya kailangan natin bantayan ito. In the meantime, maraming salamat sa inyong dalawa. Thank you very much for sharing us
Thank you.
your
Have a
expertise.
good night. Happy weekend.
Okay.
Ciao.
Good night and maraming salamat din po sa ating mga viewers. Thank you for joining us tonight. Laging tandaan po, malaki ang pakinabang ng gadget pero tulad ng narinig nyo ngayon, teka muna, think before you click. Ako po ulit si Moniz Berto, ang inyong tech lolo. Magandang gabi po muli dito mula sa amin sa Tech Ka Muna. Kami po sa 1PH Teleserbisyo para sa Filipino.